Welcome to the Go Lurk Yourself podcast. Joining me today is my co-host, Jessy. No, Jessy is the guest. Snuffas is the co-host. I pointed the wrong way. I pointed this way because on the window that I look at him, it's this way, but on the screen, it's this way. So, yeah, we're off to a great start. Pro streaming right here, 101. Welcome, Jessy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Can you hear me a lot nice and loud and clear?
I can, yes.
I'm doing well. How you doing today, Snuffas?
Doing good. It's almost Friday, so yeah, I'm always doing a lot better the closer I get to Friday.
Well, you know, it's to be expected, isn't it? Hey, Robbie Rotten R6. We love Jessy. Do you know Robbie Rotten R6, Jessy?
I do know Robbie, yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming and seeing us here on the podcast. Hey, Frankie, how you doing, buddy? It is a Go Lurk Yourself reunion today. This is Jessy103, who most of you know. I'm going to give her a shout out real quick.
Awesome.
You can find her there. You didn't hear yourself say awesome, did you?
Oh, I hate you.
Jessy has been one of the first people I ever met on Twitch. I think we met, about a year and a half ago?
Yeah, we did.
It's been that way.
We did.
I met her through Cherry Cake, who is also a co-host on the recorded show. She was actually filled in for us last week on the live show. We did another early one because Dee was out of town. Actually, Dee will be home and be joining us probably about the time you're going to bed, Jess. I don't know if we're going to play some games or whatnot later, but we thought I've been trying to get Jessy to come on here for a year. Turns out all I had to do is have Snuff ask. And she was like, sure, I'll come on there and hang out with you guys.
I just asked, and she was like, yeah, of course, obviously. I'll totally do that. You know, it didn't take me weeks and weeks of just chiseling away at it. You know,
what can I say? I've got a thing for rednecks.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Oh, you got to head to work soon, Frankie. Well, thanks for hanging out for while you can, man. I appreciate that. But Jessy's a variety streamer on Twitch. For those of you listening to the audio version of this, she's at twitch.tv/Jessy103. That's Jessy103. I've seen her play recently Dark Souls, Euro Truck Simulator. What other games have you been playing, Jess? I don't need to remember all this. You can tell us.
Planet Coaster. Farming Simulator, bit of GTA 5 multiplayer. I'll play anything really.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games out there. Steam sale happened a couple hours ago. Have you nabbed anything yet?
I have, yes. Well, I bought Dead by Daylight this morning before the sale even started.
Well, that was a good move. Did it go on sale then?
No, it was half price anyway.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
it was fine. I've bought Cities Skyline.
Great buy.
I was thinking about buying that too when I saw it on sale.
Yeah, it had really good reviews, and it looked fun. And Dragon's Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
And also a bit of a laugh, Super Seducer, which I can't wait to play.
Oh man, that's gonna be great.
I've seen a few videos of that. Hey Necro, how you doing? I've seen a few people play that, and it looks like a game that it's like good for a laugh. It's good Steam sale find because you'll play it a couple of times and be funny, but then you'll kind of see everything it has to do. B-Shiv is just now realizing that Steam sale's happening, and he says FML was going to buy Mario Oasis tomorrow, but now I probably can't.
Don't worry, B-Shiv. If you try to get on when it started, you'd still be waiting to load the page. Yeah,
it took me a half an hour to buy. I got Neo for half off or whatever the discount is. I got for $30 the complete edition, which is all the DLC, and it took me a half an hour to click and wait, finally get through.
Did you pay with PayPal? Did that work?
It went through. I haven't checked my PayPal transaction to see if I got the $5 off yet. I'm a busy guy, man. I worked today, and I was actually playing PUBG with Cherry right before we got on here after she got off work, and I took my headphones off, and it's pouring down, raining outside. My dogs are out in the rain. I'm like, oh crap! So I had to run down there and dry them all. I mean, they're just soaked head to the bone. I had to go dry them off and in time to get in here. But
my dog's heard. Look, they're absolutely disgusted with you.
Well, do those dogs even go outside, or do they go in like a cat box or something? They look to be the most pampered dogs I've ever seen, and I've seen some pampered dogs.
They look very British. Very, very British.
When my wife and I were dating back in the 1920s, McDonald's, there was this new store called McDonald's, and we used to go We used to go through the drive-thru with her mom. Her mom would take us to the movies. We were like 13 or 14, and her mom would buy cheeseburgers for their dogs. And I thought that was the most spoiled thing I'd ever seen a dog do until I saw this behind me.
Oh God, cheeseburgers I don't even know if I'd eat one of those cheeseburgers, much less feed it to a dog.
Well, I mean, it's kind of cannibalism if you feed it to a dog, isn't it?
That's very true.
Wasn't it in England that you guys a couple years ago found out that some of the fast food places were putting horse meat or non-beef?
Yeah, it was like the microwave meals that you get.
Yeah.
It like a lasagna. It had like donkey in it. Oh. And I was like, I've been vegetarian for 16 years now, and I was just like, haha, fuck you guys. Just been eating donkey for years.
Jessy's like, why does this lasagna taste like ass? Tesco, Robbie Rotten says.
Gross.
It was Tesco, yeah, it was Tesco, one of our supermarkets called Tesco.
So you've been streaming now for a year? 11 months?
Not quite. 10 months.
10 months, okay. What was it that made you go, you know what? I should do this. This sounds like a good idea.
It was you, Crunk, actually.
It was me. Little old me.
Because you would always joke, oh, I want to see you play this, Jess. Because you just kill everybody. And I was like, well, hey, why don't I?
I thought it was more like you were like, well, if this asshole can do it, anybody can. I'll play.
Yeah, it was kind of that as well, but it was just trying to be nice.
Why start now?
So yeah, I bought a webcam and I streamed.
Don't lie to us. You already had one of those laying around. We know.
I was about to say, you already had the webcam.
Well, yeah.
To chat with your family overseas. I understand. So what, I know you played Dark Souls early on, but I don't think that was your first game, was it?
It was, yeah.
Was it? Okay. I'm misremembering. Yeah. I've slept since then, so. You played Dark Souls, and I want to say it took you a month? 3 weeks?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, probably about a month, yeah.
Hi, Nankish. Welcome to the stream.
Hi, Nankish.
Nancy's here. Pew, pew, pew. I can't help but do it every time I see her. I think of that.
A little less cool when you do it. I just,
I know you're just trying to make her feel better. That's very nice of you to
not want to
think
do
of her
that.
feelings. So it took you like 4 weeks to get through it, and did you think you were going to make it? I know when you were on ONS, I think you were pretty low. I do remember one day I was watching you stream. I'm like, I think she might cry.
I think I nearly did.
Yeah, I think there was a day that you actually maybe you did have a little bit of a breakdown.
I've had a few of those.
Oh, have you?
But ONS will do that to you. But yeah, ONS were really tough on because it was the first PC game that I'd played as well. So it was, I really went straight into the deep end there with that one. I perhaps should have eased in gently with an easier game, but no, I just went straight to Dark Souls.
Well, I mean, I think if I remember right, it was Dark Souls. You were watching people like me and Brutal and people I can't remember right now that were playing it.
Yeah.
And I think that motivated you to get going. It wasn't Snuffas playing it. I know that.
It wasn't Snuffas. But yeah, it was watching you guys, and I was just like, "Oh, this game looks amazing!" It just looks so much fun, and just like having the areas that you go through, and then the big boss fights at the end. It kind of reminded me of like old games that used to play, like Sonic, where you'd go through a level and then you'd have Dr. Robotnik at the end, the big boss fight. So it was like, yeah, why don't I play that?
Hey, Robbie Rotten, thank you for that follow, by the way. Hey, Scrubbles. Yeah, I'll tell you what it reminded me of the first time I played it was a little bit of Zelda. No, not Hell. I've never been there. Not yet, anyway. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It had a little bit of that, the Z lock-on targeting from that game, the 3D aspect of it, and the big bosses at the end of areas. Obviously, set up a little bit different, but it reminded me of that mixed with a bit of... there was a game for the PlayStation 1 called Castlevania Symphony of the Night. One of the lead directors of that is actually on that Blood Cursed Moon game fundraiser, Upstart. They put out Blood Cursed Moon, like a 2D NES style one while they're still finishing the one that's more like Symphony of the Night, and that's a 2D game, but you go through a whole area and you rest at these save points. But every time you go through an area, all the enemies are back, so you have to it's a maze. You have to find your way through, and it reminded me of a mix of both of those. I watched some people play it on YouTube before I even knew what Twitch was. I watched some people play it on YouTube and fell in love with it, just like kind of what you're saying. So I understand where you're coming from with that. And here you are 10 months later doing Soul Level 1 runs on Dark Souls Remastered.
I know, right?
How far are you in your Soul Level 1
Our
run?
fates appear to be intertwined.
I got to the DLC. I've got a notepad with all my notes written on because I like taking it really seriously.
I know who gave you that advice. Brutal did.
Just like wrote everything I'd need down. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bosses to go. So yeah, it's still a few to go, but fingers crossed I can do it.
The Mortal, thank you for giving us that host. For those of you guys just coming in, Snuffas and Jess here we're talking about Dark Souls, which is Snuffas' favorite game of all time.
I love it. It's so great.
And
That's why I play it constantly.
Specifically, the game that got Jessy into streaming. And after you played that, I remember early on, I think you might have played Cuphead when it came out.
No. Well, I tried Cuphead when it came out.
Yeah.
And I got to the frog boss, which is like maybe the second or third boss. And I was like, no, I'm done.
Like, I had my fill of hard games. Screw this noise.
It's like, yeah, I was like, God damn this game, I hate it. If it was a physical copy, I would have picked it up and thrown it out the window.
Hey, I think we've all been there. I think we've all been there with a game.
But I came back to it a few months ago and I completed it.
You did complete it.
Shit out of that game fast. I was really impressed.
Mortal
I don't know how you do that.
Mortal says Jess is the only person I know that rage quits harder than they do. Ankish has never played Dark Souls.
Don't ever.
Nankish.
Talk her into it, Jess. What would you say to Nankish about Dark Souls?
I would say it's a challenging game, but extremely rewarding. And there's like no other game that will get your adrenaline pumping like Dark Souls does.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true. You know what game I was going to recommend to you, Jess?
Sea of Thieves.
No, I said game, not walking simulator. Nier Automata. Have you seen that game?
Yes, I've seen it and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a game. It's one of those games I think that's like more than the sum of its parts. Like if you ever just watch bits and pieces of it, you're like, it looks kind of generic. But it's one of those things that it's. I've been doing a little bit of research lately and talking to people about what makes games art, whether they are or aren't. Usually on this on Twitch and people we know. I think everyone here mostly agrees that gaming is art, but like what makes a game artistic, and that game specifically does something that I've never seen a game do, and that's have a greater, well, not never, but in the most unique way. It talks about the question of what is life, what makes life life. Is it have to be organic? Can it be? Where does it come from? And what why are we here? That's been tackled in sci-fi quite a bit, but that game does something very different, all at the same time while being a good game. As much as I love Dark Souls and some of the lore, it has to be a good game first, and then everything else is just bonus on top of it.
Yeah. It's one on my to play list for sure.
Right after what was the Seducer game you just got?
Super Seducer.
Super Seducer. Yeah, that's that one. And what was the other one that came out real close to it? That was the Daddy game. What was it?
Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
You should get that one.
I mean, what are you talking about? I don't.
Snuff has pulled that one real quick. What's the one about all the hunky dudes? He's like, oh, that's totally Dream Daddy.
I don't remember.
The reason he's got a green screen up is there's a poster of it behind him. Bishop says Super Seducer is definitely art. Yeah,
for sure.
Mortal is right that Dark Souls can ruin other games for you. I hate The Witcher. I don't hate it, but I quit The Witcher 3 right after I started playing it, because when I was done with Dark Souls, I'm like, I'm going to play this awesome Witcher 3 game, and I just couldn't get into it. The combat was like, it felt like I was playing Smash Brothers or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand it. I love The Witcher.
Oh, we know
but
why you
mainly,
love The Witcher.
but mainly because for the story, and obviously going to the brothels, obviously, yeah. I mean, what's the point in playing The Witcher if you're not going to go to the brothels?
It's the same reason I watch Cinemax movies, for the story. Watch it for the plot.
Yeah, says, for the plot. I read that certain magazine for the articles.
Yeah.
The great cartoons.
Great cartoons. So how have you found, now that you've been streaming for about 10 months, you've been on the roller coaster, like, what was your initial impression when you first started? Like, were you overwhelmed? Did you really enjoy it? Was it like a big high? Or how would you describe that first month or so that you started streaming?
Really nerve-wracking, but exciting. And I couldn't have imagined that it would go as well as what it did.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just sort of, I was playing Dark Souls and it just sort of blew up, and I was like, why are all these people watching me? I don't understand.
Well, Dark Souls is a great game to start streaming with, because there's a pretty big fan base that like is looking for people to play it for the first time, because there's something cathartic. And Jessy, you could probably speak to this since you're doing Soul Level 1 runs now. Have you ever gone back and watched a person play it for the first time and enjoyed watching it? So you get it now. You're like, oh yeah, I Nanka says every time I watch people play Dark Souls, it's like an endless cycle of pain, but we enjoy it. Yes. It's like a commiseration a bit. I would say that's an accurate way of putting it, Nankish. There's something cathartic in going through and almost getting that experience again. You got some Snuffas face going on, Nankish.
Yeah, learning all new things about Nankish. All right then.
So did you hit the for lack of a better term, the rookie wall when you first started streaming? Did you get to a point where you like kind of got, the nervousness and the excitement dies down a bit, and then it becomes more of a chore that you felt like you had to do, and you didn't want to do it as much?
Not really, no. I've always enjoyed it because I enjoy the social aspect of it more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, I really love playing the games. I've grown to love gaming since I've started. And like when the Steam sale was today, I was like, oh my God, the Steam sale. It's like checking my bank account, like, oh, I can get one more, just maybe one more game.
All right, let's see. I don't need to pay my power bill or my water. I can live without that for a month.
I can just live on like beans on toast for like 2 months.
Beans and toast. Oh my God. Wait. I think I just.
It's almost as bad as that pea soup stuff you were eating.
Oh my gosh. They were mushy peas, Snuffers. Mushy fucking peas. They weren't pea soup. It's not a soup. Damn you.
Oh, look. Nankish is all. She gets her noodles in a can. I get them in a packet and it says ramen on the front.
And the fancy ones.
Yeah, the fancy ones.
So you guys do me a favor. Go into your Steam account right now. Go to your library.
Oh gosh.
And tell me how many games you have in your library right now.
Oh, I've got to log on first. Hold on.
You're not logged into Steam already?
Well, no.
Scrub.
Amateur hour.
I had to restart my computer before I did this, and I thought, what's the point of logging into Steam? I won't need it.
To be intertwined.
Thank you for the host, Nankish. Necro has 204.
I have 90.
90. Bishop's got 365. Everybody in chat, let's see what you got too.
And B-Shiv can probably give you a 1-hour lecture on every single game in his entire Steam library.
I've only got 45 in my Steam, but I also have a Blizzard account, a GOG account, a Uplay account, any other accounts.
RuneScape.
Nakahira 9K. Hello, by the way, Naka has 466.
Oh my!
Wow, that is a lot.
We're just comparing Steam libraries right now, and so far Naka is definitely is the winner. If you include all shared libraries, no, Naka, she's 1484 if you include all libraries. But here's the thing: my point about Steam sales is, it's hard not to buy a $60 game when it's $4 or $5. You know what I mean? Especially when you're like, I wasn't going to play that, but for $5, I'll love it. And how many games have you bought on Steam sale that you wouldn't have bought that you actually played through and liked? There's a couple of them. You remember this year they announced Rage 2 at E3? I bought Rage 1 on a Steam sale years after it was released, and I'm like, For $5, I enjoyed it. If I'd have bought it day one, I'd have hated it.
Mm.
But I have 239 games, and I bet I've played 25% of them, and finished even way less than that.
Yeah, I bought 7 Days to Die, that zombie survival game. When I bought it, it was on a Steam sale, and it was like $10 or $15 off. I was like, man, I would have never bought and played this game if it hadn't been for the Steam sale. I was like, this is a really good game.
I think that was Euro Truck Simulator for me.
You bought it on a whim?
I bought it. I'd seen a bit of gameplay of it, and I was like, well, this looks fun. And I was watching Bishiv play, and it was like, oh, it's on sale. And I was like, I'm going to get it. And I've now got about 120 hours in it.
Yeah. That's a great game to watch you stream, because you like get involved in chat and you're just like driving all over the road. It's hilarious.
How many murders do you have in it so far?
Probably quite a few, but let's not go there, Snuffas. I don't know why you had to bring that up.
Right. So you got Steam, and did you play games growing up, Jess?
When I was younger, we had a Sega Master System.
Mm-hmm.
So which had Shinobi? Alex. No, it had the Alex the Kid on it.
Oh wow!
And then we had a Mega Drive, so I played Sonic, and the really hard Disney games like the Lion King and Aladdin. And then we had a PlayStation 1, and then that was kind of it.
What were your favorite games growing up? Oh, Nankish has 199 games.
Oh wow! Favorite games has to be Resident Evil 2.
Were those on PlayStation 1?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Okay.
And Silent Hill as well.
Yeah, Silent Hill.
Silent Hill was a really good one, but it was always Sonic as well. Sonic was just.
You like horror games?
I do like horror games, even though I am a really jumpy person. It's proven today when I played Dead by Daylight. I was like, somebody just flashed in front of me. I'm like, ah!
Have you seen Resident Evil 7? Is that the one that's got the rednecks in it?
Yes. Yeah. I watched General Chaos Live play through that, and that looked great.
Surprised you didn't get that one if it's on sale.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Resident Evil 2 remake is in the works. Yes, it was. We were actually talking about that specifically right before we got online.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I can't wait.
So then after PlayStation 1, you didn't play anything till came to streaming?
No, we had an Xbox 360 and a Nintendo Wii, but they were just like, like casual games. They weren't like, I'd sit there like I do now for hours.
So for those of you guys keeping track at home, Nintendo Wii and Xbox 360 is basically the same console, casual scrubs play.
Yeah,
I did that just to piss off
stuff. Peasantry console stuff.
Oh man, no, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I actually do like playing on consoles too, just not specific types of games. It's like if I'm playing an RTS, I'd much rather be on a mouse and keyboard setup. If I'm playing a shooter, I love mouse and keyboard. But if I'm playing a third-person action adventure game where I'm using a controller, no matter what console I'm using, I don't mind sitting there playing on my 4K TV. I can tell you right now, I bought last week they had during E3 they had a sale on PlayStation Network, and after watching General Chaos play Last of Us, I'm like $10. It was $10 for the remastered version. I got it and I played through it in like 3 sittings. I loved every minute of it, and it was great to play. But when it came time to get Neo, I bought it on PC. Bought it today actually. So did you ever have a Nintendo 64, or did you kind of skip that generation?
No, I never had a Nintendo. It was always the Segas and then straight onto the PlayStation.
So you don't have a Switch then? You probably don't have any nostalgia for all that. Bishop's favorite console is Nintendo. He loves them.
What can you say?
Yeah. I think he likes Nintendo, but like most Nintendo fans, they never do what you think they're going to do, and people get pissed off about it.
I heard Bishop say Nintendo does no wrong. It came out of his mouth. I'm pretty sure it came out of his mouth.
Yeah,
recently.
Yeah, it did. He's gonna jump on here and start yelling at us if we're not careful. So you came back to gaming and really got into it when you started streaming, and you found obviously I'm seeing a pattern here. You like third-person action games. I know you played some PUBG, but you don't do it all the time, do you?
No.
It's very
no.
hit and miss.
I'm not very good at PUBG. You know this.
Who is good at PUBG? That game's so terrible. I was playing it earlier today, and I'm like, I shot a guy 6 times with a SKS, and I'm like, there is no way all those shots registered, or he would be dead. But I saw blood on my screen 6 times. Bishop says he's biting his tongue because I won't get dinner finished after my 9-page essay. We're just trying to twist your screws there, Bishop. Go ahead and get dinner ready, man. But so you played some sim games. I've seen you play Farming Simulator. Do you still enjoy playing that one?
I do, yeah, but I keep going back to Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah.
It's got me.
Too many cops to run over in that one?
Well, yeah,
like
exactly.
It's GTA or something. And I've seen you've taken this turn lately to like Park Simulator, the theme park no, Planet Coaster.
Yeah, Planet Coaster, yeah.
That's a great game.
It really is. I really enjoyed it. Actually, saying that, I had Zoo Tycoon on my laptop.
Okay.
And I loved that game. I spent ages on that.
That's an awesome game.
So I like those sort of simulator games.
There's a lot of good ones. Have you seen the Jurassic Park thing that's come around?
Yes, but I've tried not to watch too much gameplay of it because I want to experience it for myself.
Wait for a sale on that one.
I know, yeah.
It's really expensive for what it is right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I was gonna get it too, and I saw the price tag, and I was like, I'm not gonna get it.
If you have a tablet, there's a free-to-play version of it.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
I don't think it's out yet. It looks like a really good game. I just don't know if it's a $55 game. It'd probably be, whatever money you have there in England. I think.
Yeah, what's $55 in Monopoly money?
I think
it's like 1 stone and 3/4 of a pound or something.
Shush! How much did you pay for Sea of Thieves? And that has got like 0 content.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Get my money's worth. Totally. Still playing it. It's got a ton of content.
Necro says he's up to 206 games while he's watching us talk about games. He's buying more. Oh man! Wait a minute. My chair's messed up. Oh well. Look, now I have a chair behind me. See it? Normally it has a green cloth on it. Anyway, I'll be cutting that out of the podcast. Actually, no, I won't. So, what type of stream do you try to curate or try to emulate? Was there a person that you watched that you thought, oh, I'll do this thing, or do you do your own thing? Do you have any rules or that you try to live by on stream, or you just play the games and let it be, whatever it is?
Yeah, I just play. I like to have fun. I like people to have fun in my stream. We get a bit filthy sometimes. It's just
like mud wrestling, or what are you talking about?
Just innuendos constantly.
Yeah. Is that a skateboard move? I'm not sure what that is.
But yeah, I just always, the people that I watch, like yourself and Brule, that got me into streaming, it's always just been a nice, relaxing, fun place to be. And so that's what I like to do on my streams too. I want people to have a good time.
Number one thing people say about me is I'm nice and relaxed.
I think your emote shows that as well.
Yeah.
Just a dude chilling in a lawn chair with a beer.
Like 99% of the time you are chilled.
I was talking to Deadhead Draven earlier yesterday, and he was there that day. I was having just a really bad day, and I fucking flipped out on Dark Souls. I was like, God damn it. I rage quit my stream, and I never do that. And
I can't believe I missed that.
And he was like, "Oh no, it's been deleted. Trust me."
Damn it.
He was like super nice about it. He's like, "Oh, we all have those days." I'm like, "Dude, I've watched the video. I know how bad it was." He's like, "Oh, we've all had those days." But by the way, you should go look at his highlight section, because I was heckling him today about how almost all the Brits I ever see stream wear like toboggan caps, and he always wears one, and he took it off today. He's got hair like down to his ass. He's got hair longer
really?
than yours. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Oh dang! You know what? I think I knew that because I think Chaos posted a picture somewhere with his
okay.
with his hair like that.
Say all the Brits. You just name like one.
Like
all of them.
There's like 4 or 5. There's been like a definite pattern emerging. I was like, well, it is. If you think about from like a latitudinal perspective, it's more like Canada as far as how far north of the equator they are. I see Snuffas's gears turning right now as I'm explaining. It's like,
what the fuck is
I see numbers of lines going off.
off.
So you know how like in Canada the temperature compared, like even Snuffas and I, we're only like 6 hours away from each other. It's always 10 degrees warmer where he is, always, because he's closer to the equator. You have to go up to Canada to be on the same or actually latitudinal line as where the UK is. So that's why
That's true.
They're so cold.
Because I've been to America, and you literally fly towards Canada and then just go straight down.
Yeah, Canada's north of us, confirmed.
It's just right down to the ocean. just head towards Canada and then head towards the Earth.
Yeah,
that's how you get to America.
And you went to Florida though, didn't you? When you came to America,
I've been to Florida and I've been to New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay. New York's northeast, so that could be. What time of the year was it when you went to New York?
Oh God, it was January and it was absolutely freezing. So cold.
This is warmer than your place in the wintertime, I would bet. Or rough. Yeah, you're a little bit.
I don't know. I think it was colder. I really do.
You might have been having lake effect snow or something. That's true.
Yeah, it's miserable up there.
Not lake effect. What do they call that? There's lake effect is from where I'm from. We have the Great Lakes north of us, so it's got a different name.
Ocean effect?
Something like that. I'm not a goddamn meteorologist, okay?
It was cold.
Bishev used to live in New York, and then he moved to England. Or not England.
Canada. He moved somewhere where it was colder.
Yeah, he went, nah, this is too warm here.
I like this.
Well, let's talk about the future of your channel. Do you have any... What are your big plans going forward when it comes to... Actually, Dankish is in New York right now. It's disgusting right now. I hate this weather. It's probably like 95 degrees up there right now, right? And humid as hell. What about the future of your channel? What are your goals? Are you just enjoying it for what it is? Do you have like a plan to try to get partnered, or what is your loose goal right now, or do you even have one?
I have no plan in mind.
You have no plan?
I love streaming. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy talking to the people that I've met, and I've made some really good friends on Switch. So I am happy as I am. If I could make partner, that would be amazing. I think to make partner and be a full-time streamer is like everybody's dream to do. But whether or not it'll happen is another thing. But yeah, I'm happy going along as I am at the moment.
Nice. Do you ever play games with your viewers? Do you ever do multiplayer with them, or do you mostly do solo stuff?
It mostly just solo stuff. I do play with people that I know that perhaps were viewers to start off with, like Snuffas. Like, no, I can't get rid of him. Like, and a few other people
like
that
an infection.
Sort of.
Or a clingy dog or something.
So yeah,
infection works better, I think.
I suppose you have to be careful who you decide to play certain games with.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I've ran into problems in the past where, like, there's been days where I'll be playing PUBG or something that's multiplayer focused. I'm like, hey, if you want to get in, get in. And then you run into the problem where not everybody can get in, and then people are like, well, why did you let so and so in when I said I was next? And some of that stuff, like, I don't like to accidentally hurt people's feelings, but it's like, because I know that person and I know they're not going to be an asshole or a weirdo on stream, and I've got to, you're responsible for the people or for the content, whether or not you're the only one talking. So you got to be real careful about that kind of stuff.
I just tend to get trolls on PUBG.
Yeah, you get trolls.
PUBG's
you get a lot of trolls. You're like a troll magnet. It's weird. You get more trolls than just about anybody else. I watch a lot on Twitch.
I mean, I don't know if it's sexist to say, but it's been my observation of the streams that I've watched. Timmy just murked you, lurking F4F everyone. What is F4F? I don't know. Well, thank you for lurking, Timmy. But I've noticed that because I think Twitch's demographics, like their viewership is more dudes, that girls get a lot more trolls. Like I think a lot of trolls are either younger people that are just, immature, or
yes.
thank you for the follow, Timmy. People who just, don't have any experience of that the people are really, that they're real people on the other end. Like, I've had trolls. I've had some, but not a whole lot. Nankish says they've noticed, depends on what type of game you play. Yeah. Most trolls I ever got was in PUBG or Fortnite or
I've seen trolls come in, PUBG, Fortnite, and kind of give you crap about not killing people.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Never on mine because
no one would do that.
Yeah, no one would do that to me. I'm too nice. But no, I've seen people come into Jess's streams and Chaos's streams and like give them crap about missing shots and missing kills and stuff in PUBG and Fortnite. Yep.
How often would you say you get trolls when you stream, Jess? Once a week? Twice a week? Every day?
Maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
You had one just today, didn't you?
I did,
yeah.
He was sending me whispers and then was like, "Oh, reply to my whispers." It's like, no, I don't know who you are.
This is Tinder, man.
You know
and
who
then the usual get your tits out, like.
Oh man, yeah, that's just Snuffas. You don't have to worry about it.
That's just from my regulars. So.
CS:GO, yeah, God, I couldn't imagine the toxicity in CS:GO. Or even I've streamed Overwatch a few times here lately, and that's usually like the most toxic fan base there is. I think, at least I run into that the most because it's, especially if you play like competitive. But I haven't had a, knock on wood, I haven't had a troll in a while. I had a guy call me Peter Griffith one time, said, "Hey, you look like Peter Griffith." That made me laugh. But usually, I used to get kind of pissy about it, but now I don't. I just ban, or actually, usually when my mods is all over it. Like you two, these guys are both mods on my channel. For everybody that's watching this,
I can't believe some of that. I'm mods on both your channels. I can't believe both of you made the mistake of modding me.
Yeah. Mine was a pity mod. It was just out of pity.
These poor bastards here every day. Might as well throw them a bone.
So do you play any competitive? You don't play any like MOBAs ever? The League of Legends type games?
No, I've never played WoW or anything like that.
Yeah,
the next thing I'm gonna convince you to play League.
League is kind of like what makes me think you might enjoy League is it's got a little bit of those what they call Twitch skills where you have to be reactionary, but it's more RTS like in strategy because it's an overhead view, like a live action chessboard if you think about it. You know what I mean?
Was it kind of like Diablo 3?
Yeah, a little bit like that, but more like board game based. Instead of Diablo 3 is just an endless dungeon crawler that's random.
Yeah.
This is one map that you learn and very well. There's only so many paths through.
PvP.
And it's other players.
I've been on Switch for like over a year and I have no idea what League of Legends is.
Well, MOBA is multiplayer online board action game. Is that what that stands for? Battle action. Multiplayer online battle action game. It was started out, if you've ever played Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, which are RTS games, Battle Arena, they were mods for those games back in the day, and then League of Legends made one, whatever company makes them, I don't even remember the name of it. I've never played League of Legends.
Blizzard, right?
No, Blizzard doesn't do that. There's another game company that makes League of Legends. It's kind of what they're
Hurricane?
known for. No. Somebody in chat. Riot Games. Thank you, Necro. I was like, it's been a while. Close. It's a man-made disaster, not a natural disaster. But then, Steam came out with one. Valve came out with Dota 2, which is Defense of the Ancients was the mod for Warcraft 3. That was one of the first popular MOBAs. All these acronyms and names and shit.
Hearthstone, I think, is another one.
Yeah, that's like a battle action card game.
Card game, isn't it? Yeah.
No, not Hearthstone. I'm sorry. Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, that's Blizzard's.
Heroes of the Storm.
Blizzard's one.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the one that if anybody's interested in playing a MOBA, I tell them to start with that one because it's got the most easiest one to get into, approachable one. Like they start you off with like, against
Hero in a Storm.
Yeah, you're a hero in a storm. It's simpler and it's a little bit more easy to get into, I think. I played it for a little while because Blizzard's really good about tying all their games together with these promotional. You unlock this if you try this game for 5 minutes. And Heroes of the Storm is one that if you play for 5 or 10 minutes, it starts to click way faster.
Free to play, I think, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So is Dota 2. Dota 2 is free to play, and I think League
of Legends is. Yeah.
But League of Legends, you have to like buy heroes, I think.
Yeah, kind of. They have a free rotational hero thing, and you can buy heroes with in-game currency. So.
Sort of like that other shooter game that everybody's playing on Uplay. Called
Assassin's Creed.
No, the Rainbow Six
Siege.
Yeah, that Siege. That game, like, I love the idea of it, but man, it's so hard for me to get into because it's so there's a huge barrier to entry, skill ceiling in that, or skill floor to get up to be competitive. But what other games are you interested in playing, Jess?
Anything in E3 that stood out for you that you're ready to snatch up as soon as it comes in the market?
I really kind of want to buy a PlayStation because I want The Last of Us. I want The Last of Us 2 because I thought that looked amazing.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Also, is it Death Stranding as well that's coming out soon? I like the look of that. Mm-hmm. Mainly because it's Norman Reedus. I can't help but like Norman Reedus.
A good-looking person doesn't make a great game. Sometimes it works out. See Bayonetta. But I remember when Bayonetta came out, I'm like, that has got to be absolute shit because why would they have to put a half-naked chick on the cover? But it's actually a good game.
Tell that to Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
Exactly.
And Rumble Roses. Those games are great. Phenomenal games. Just amazing.
But how do they play?
Great. The physics are good.
The physics are good. Realistic action physics.
And then obviously the new FromSoft one.
Yeah, that looks good.
I can't say it right.
Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Do you think?
Nailed it.
What do you think about the verticality of that game with the grappling hook? Is that going to be weird in a FromSoft game?
It is. Like, I don't know. I was looking at it and I think, this game looks awesome, but then I think I want it to be like Souls. I want it to be like Soulsborne. I want it to be like Dark Souls 1 and 3 and Bloodborne. But I just don't know whether it's gonna. But I think if they put as much work into it as what they did Dark Souls and that, it will be awesome.
I'm very curious too because I remember being very apprehensive about Bloodborne because Bloodborne is a departure. I mean, it's fast. There's no shield, and I know people who hate Bloodborne that love Dark Souls, and I look at those people like they got 3 heads because I'm like, Bloodborne I think in many ways is superior to even Dark Souls 3 as far as like the lore, the world building, and the interactivity and the combat, the trick weapons and stuff. It doesn't have as much diversity, but I think because you don't have to make the game playable from 18 different specs, just 5 or 6 different weapons, that they can actually balance it out a little easier. I think Bloodborne's, I'm not going to say I like it better, but I think it's technically superior in a lot of ways to the Soul series. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Sekiro or whatever the hell it's called. But I watched the trailer for it again the other day, and it shows a boss like swinging a sword on a chain around, right? And about 30 feet away from the guy on the horse, the player character parries it as it flies by.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, there's some difficulty there. And I watched a little bit of one of the devs actually played it at E3 on the show floor for some of the guys on IGN, and I heard them talking about it. And the dev who designed this boss that was in the build that they were playing was dying to him. So the guy that created the game, created the boss of this game, was dying to his own creation while trying to demonstrate the game. And I'm like, well, and one of the things they're saying is the shadows die twice, is there's going to be a mechanic where you don't necessarily respawn at the last bonfire every time you die. You can res right there on the battlefield, but it's going to cost something. So how much can they change the Soulsborne series without and it still be a Soulsborne game? I don't know.
I wonder if you're still going to have souls as currency.
Well, in Bloodborne you have blood echoes, but no one calls them that.
Yeah. The main thing is the camera still going to get stuck in the wall? Because I mean, that's what makes the Souls game.
Exactly, it's got to stuck in the wall or a dragon butt or something like that. You know, I mean, that's If it doesn't get stuck in the wall, I'm going to miss it a little bit. Well, you notice when you played Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 that there were no small corridors like in Dark Souls 1, right? Everything was nice and big and open, and that was to get away from that camera problem that they had. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Are you ever going to finish Dark Souls there, Mr. Snuff?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I will finish that eventually.
Jess is going to pull your man card.
I might finish it this year. Well, yeah, it's like 5.5 months left. I might finish it this year. I better finish it before Madden comes out, because once that comes out, I won't be playing anything else.
I think you're underestimating. You know what Madden is, Jess?
It's the American football thing, isn't it?
We just call it football, though. It's all right. You don't have to say American.
It's American football.
It's the American football thing, isn't it? The fake one.
Oh my God! You play that American football with that egg-shaped ball, but you've still got all this stuff on.
Oh yeah.
Ginger Thomas, thank you for the follow. Bishop says FromSoft needs to made a Monster Hunter game that was like Animal Crossing. I hope it follows that path. Is that real? Did that really happen? FromSoft wasn't really the same company back before Miyazaki joined, though. I mean, they.
When does the new Monster Hunter that comes out in August, right?
The PC version, I've not seen a good date for it yet, but I've not really looked. I know
I'm kind of dreading that because I give B a lot of crap for playing that Monster Hunter constantly, but I have a feeling that when it comes out on PC, that's going to be me sat there for hours trying to take down one monster.
Well, the nice thing about it,
the tutorial monster.
The nice thing about that game, though, especially on PC, is that it's, you know, you could play multiplayer. All of us could get on and play together and help each other out if we're stuck on a particular monster, because as much as I really liked playing that game on PlayStation, but the reason I stopped is the couple of people I knew that had played it stopped playing it. So it's like I was solo and everything, and that got boring after a while.
Jess, if you do end up getting a PlayStation, you have to get Red Dead Redemption and stream it, the new one.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
It's a requirement, because I can't get it and I can't play it. So I'm gonna have to play and live it vicariously through someone else on Twitch.
I did play a bit of one of them on the Xbox 360. You know, they did a zombie Red Dead Redemption, and I did some of that, and it was quite fun.
Oh, the zombie, like, was it what do they call that? Survival, where they just send you waves of them after you? Is that what it was?
No, it was like a whole game with the same character. Yeah. You were like trying to find a cure for it.
Like
and
a DLC,
like
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
like a DLC, yeah. It was really good.
Inferno Ashes is asking, ever been to platform 9 3/4? That mean?
That's a
wizard, Harry.
It's a Harry Potter reference.
Oh. Harry Potter.
Raise your hand if you've seen all the Harry Potter movies or read the books.
I've seen all the movies.
I've done both.
I've never read one book, or I checked out like halfway through the third movie. I'm like, nope.
I've seen all the movies and read all the books.
Red Dead Nightmare is what Inferno Ashes is saying.
Oh yeah, that's it.
I was watching the one where they have the clock stops time and rewinds time. Was that the third or the fourth one? I don't remember.
That's the fourth one, right?
Fourth one?
Because I think Hermione has that one in the fourth one, I think.
Okay, that's the one.
They all merge into one for me.
I was like, I'm out. Necros said he's seen all the movies, but he's not read the books. Now I'm that way with the Lord of the Rings movies. I've read all the books and seen the movie.
I love Lord of the Rings.
And it's one of the few times really I think the movies are way better than the books, because they cut out all the crap. You know, there's pages and pages in the books where they're just singing. You know, it's like the written word doesn't.
Thinking about taking the hobbits to Isengard and stuff. It's crazy.
Right. If I wanted to listen to hobbits singing, I'd listen to Led Zeppelin. Damn it. Oh man. Well, Jess, what do you want to do now? Do you want to play? You want to play some video games? You guys want to play a multiplayer game?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to play?
I don't know. You get to pick. You're the guest.
Oh my gosh. Oh, don't put me on the spot like that.
Jess, what are we playing? Hurry, go, go, go!
I don't know.
Well, before we switch over to a game, I should probably put a spot in here where we can end this. But thank you so much for being on the podcast tonight, Jess.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for co-hosting tonight, Snuff.
Always.